As for the situation with the terrorist attack by the armed forces of Ukraine on the Kursk region and the ongoing terrorist attack on the other border region facilities, I mean the Belgorod region, first of all, I would like to attract your attention to the words of President Putin that he said during the Eastern Economic Forum a few days ago, when he said it was our armed forces' sacred duty to liberate the Kursk region and the entire territory of the Russian Federation, where Ukrainian neo-Nazis are carrying out atrocities. And since you mentioned various initiatives, well, the Zelensky's initiative is well known, and everyone already got tired of that, because it's an ultimatum. The fact that he's tried to stick to this ultimatum means only one thing. The West does not want to have a fair agreement. The West wants to go on with doing everything to bring Russia closer, as they hope, to the situation where they can declare that they have inflicted strategic defeat to us on the battlefield. They want to see their competition weaker. So as for the Zelensky formula, we have never taken it seriously. We were only amazed at the fact that someone bought into it after the Western pressure, of course. As for the initiatives, you mentioned Chancellor Scholz, who said that we should start coming to an agreement in the German media outlets and other media outlets. There are some hints at the fact that we probably will need to resolve certain territorial matters coming from the realities on the ground. We are not speaking about the territories. We have never wanted to have any swaths of someone else's land, but we want people who are part of the Russian world, Russian culture, Russian language, Russian history, Russian religion. We want them to be treated in proper way, as international law demands and various human rights conventions require, and as required, first of all, by the United Nations Charter. And those numerous ideas that are being floated around the Zelensky's formula, usually they start with the words that the hostilities must stop and international law must be enacted. And they mean by that the territorial integrity of Ukraine must be enacted and ensured. But international law does not stipulate only that. Territorial integrity is ensured only for those states whose governments represent all the people residing at a certain territory. That was a unanimous decision by the General Assembly. And the fact that the neo-Nazis did not represent anyone in the eastern part of Ukraine and Novorossiya and in Crimea, of course, I don't think I need to prove that to anyone. But more importantly, the UN Charter required to respect the human rights of anyone, regardless of race, gender, language, and religion. This is the gist of the conflict in Ukraine, because human rights after the coup d'etat, the rights of those people who were part of Russian culture, it was eradicated. Now Russian language is banned in all the fields of human activity, in education, in media, in art, in culture, and even in everyday life. And apart from those laws, Zelensky has just signed a law on basically banning the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. And not a single initiative, I'm not even mentioning Zelensky initiative now, but not a single other initiative, including those that are being promoted by our good counterparts, partners. Not any of those benevolent initiatives tries to resolve the problem of ensuring human rights of those people who want to speak Russian language, those lands that Zelensky believes to belong to him. And we discussed this topic with my counterparts from Brazil, from India, because they are interested in trying to facilitate or mediate the settlement of this crisis somehow. I told them that that was a key issue when people were declared terrorists merely for the fact that they did not accept coup d'etat, and they refused to be subdued by putschists, because those putschists, right after the coup d'etat, they said their goal was to eradicate all things Russian and to chase all the Russians away from Crimea. And we tried to draw attention of our counterparts to that. We spoke about that with our friends, because without looking at this problem from within this context, nothing can be resolved.